So today's session will discuss with the problems. So first problem is 75 mm long full journal bearing of diameter 75 mm supports a load of 10 kilonewton. The speed of the journal is 1200 rpm. Journal is 1200 rpm. Full stop. The absolute viscosity of a oil is 10 into 10 to the power of minus 3 pas, and diametrical clearance ratio is 0.001. Determine the coefficient of friction by using Petrov's equation, McKee's equation, and Raymond and Boyd curve. So here they told that first you have to see whether it is a full journal bearing or it is a partial journal bearing. Now in the question they told that it is a full journal bearing. They have given the dimensions of the journal bearing. So they given 75 mm long, length is equal to 75 mm, length is equal to 75 mm, and diameter is equal to 75 mm. So that is nothing but, you can see here L is equal to 75 mm, diameter is equal to 75 mm, load acting is 10 kilonewton. The load acting on the bearing is W is 10 kilonewton. So converted into Newton, 10 to the power of 4 newtons. Next, the speed of the journal is 1200 rpm. The journal is rotating at a speed of 1200 rpm. So n is equal to 1200 rpm, that is small n. The absolute viscosity of a oil is 10 into 10 to the power of 3 pas. That is nothing but the viscosity of an oil directly they given. That is nothing but always will represent viscosity in the notation of neta. Always it should be in pas. And should they have given the viscosity of the oil, whatever the lubricating oil you are using, it is having viscosity 10 into 10 to the power of minus 3, and diametrical clearance ratio is 0.001. So diametrical clearance ratio is represented by Xi, that is equal to 0.001. Full stop. So this is the data they have given. We have to calculate coefficient of friction, that is nothing but mu, by using three conditions based on Petrov's equation, based upon McKee's equation, and based upon the Raymond and Boyd curve. By using these three conditions, we are going to calculate the coefficient of friction mu. And sure. Now, and these are the data they have given. They have given length of the bearing, diameter, load acting on the bearing, speed in which journal is rotating, and viscosity of the oil, and diametrical clearance ratio, that is nothing but C divided by D. Directly they given. Now, first we will consider the Petrov's equation. The formula to calculate mu based upon Petrov's equation, mu is equal to, so we have derived this formula, we got mu is equal to 2 pi square neta n dash by P into 1 divided by Xi. So this is the formula to calculate mu based upon the Petrov's equation. If you see this formula, we know the value of neta in question they have given, but n dash is unknown. N dash is nothing but the speed in RPS we have to calculate. They have given speed in RPM, we have to calculate in the form of RPS. Xi they have given diametrical clearance ratio, and P is the bearing pressure. So here two unknowns is there. One is bearing pressure, another one is n dash. So first we will calculate bearing pressure. The formula to calculate bearing pressure, P is equal to W divided by L into D. W divided by L into D. So substitute W, substitute L, substitute D, then we will get the pressure. And sure. So here we are converting length and diameter in meters, then we will get pressure in Newton per meter square. And sure. So next we are going to calculate n dash, speed in RPS. Therefore n dash is equal to n divided by 60. Since we know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds, therefore we are dividing by 60. Then we will get speed in RPS, that is 20. Now substitute Now you substitute P, N dash, neta, xi, everything in the formula. In the formula, then we are going to calculate xi, that is mu, that is nothing but coefficient of friction. Then we will get 2.22 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So substitute, therefore 2 into pi square, substitute the value of neta, substitute the value of n dash, divided by, substitute the value of P into 1 divided by xi, we will get the value of mu. We got 2.22 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So this based upon the Petrov's equation. So that is the first unknown we have calculated. Next unknown, again we have to calculate mu based upon the Mecky's equation. So we know the formula. So coefficient of friction based upon the Mecky's equation, mu is equal to Ka into n dash neta n dash by P, n dash by P into 1 by xi into 10 to the power of minus 10 plus delta mu. So this is the formula we are going to use to calculate mu based upon the Mecky's equation. Here there are two unknowns. One is Ka and another one is delta mu. Now we have to calculate Ka and we have to calculate delta mu. Now where Ka is equal to 1.95 into 10 to the power of 11 for full journal bearing. This is constant Ka. Always you have to take for full journal bearing, Ka is equal to 1.95 into 10 to the power of 11. Same thing, delta mu for full journal bearing, always it is 0.002. Once you got Ka and delta mu, substitute Ka, substitute neta, substitute n dash, substitute P, xi and delta mu. Since all the terms we know, substitute all the values and calculate mu, then we will get finally mu is equal to 4.2 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So this is the coefficient of friction based upon the Mecky's equation. So second unknown is over. Third unknown, again we have to calculate mu based upon the Raymond and Boyd curve. So here we are not using the formula, we are using the figures to calculate the mu. Now if you see from figure number 24.20, mentioned, if you see the figure number 24.20, I will show the figure here. 24.20. Wait 1 minute. See, if you see this figure, this is nothing but to calculate the coefficient of friction mu based upon the Raymond and Boyd curve. If you see this figure, in x-axis we are having bearing characteristic number S is equal to neta n dash by P, neta n dash by P into 1 divided by z square. And y-axis we are having the coefficient of friction variable mu divided by xi, mu divided by xi, and number of curves. We are having 3 curves here, that is nothing but capital L divided by D. Now if you know the x-axis and if you know which curve you have to select, therefore by selecting the curve and by selecting the x-axis, we can able to calculate the y-axis here. So therefore, so before calculating the value of coefficient of friction variable, first we have to calculate here curve, the value of curve, which curve we have to select, and what is the value of x-axis, that is nothing but bearing characteristic number. Now therefore, if you come to problem here, see Sommerfeld number or bearing characteristic number, first I will calculate S. The formula to calculate S is equal to neta n dash by P into 1 divided by xi square. Substitute all the values, then you will get the value of S. We got S is equal to 0.1125. And another thing we have to calculate, that is L divided by D. So L you know, D you know, then we will get L by D is equal to 1. Now we got S is equal to 0.1125. L by D is equal to 1. Now if you go to the table, now if you refer the table, see we got S is equal to 0.11. We got S is equal to 0.1. 0.1. Now see in this figure, so this is nothing but 0.11. 0.11 somewhere you will get here. So 0.01. So if you take this one and L by D, we got L by D is equal to, we are having L by D is equal to 1. L by D is equal to 1. Now if you take this one, so if you see the curves, this curve is nothing but 1 divided by 4. This curve is nothing but 1 by 2. This curve is nothing but 1, and this is infinity. And sure, first curve is nothing but infinity. Second curve is nothing but 1. Third curve is nothing but 1 by 2. Fourth curve is nothing but 1 by 4. Now we have to see the second curve. Since L by D we got 1 and x-axis is 0.01. Now if you select this is 0.01 and you move towards upward until it touches the second curve. Now here I got this second curve. I got the second curve. 0.01125 and L by D is equal to 1. L by D is equal to 1. Now move towards like this and come towards left side. And sure, and come towards left side. Then we will get the value. Mu by xi is equal to 2.8. See, S is not 0.0. It is S is equal to 0.1125. 0.1. See here it is not 0.01. It is 0.1. So here it is 0.1. Move upwards like this until it touches the second curve. Since second curve is L by D is equal to 1. And sure, until it touches the second curve. I think this is 0.1. Move like this until it touches the second curve. So now the second curve it touches. Come towards the left side. Then somewhere you will get here the mu by xi. So that we can, so in between 2 and 3. So 2.8 or 2.7. So therefore we will get mu by xi is equal to 2.8. Now you know the value of xi. Now cross multiply xi, then we will get mu. The coefficient of friction mu is equal to the value we will get after multiplying the xi. And sure. So like this, we are going to calculate mu based upon Petrov's equation, McKee's equation, and Raymond and Boyd curve. So next problem, see they told that determine the power loss for a Petrov's bearing 100 mm in diameter and 150 mm long, full stop. The radial clearance is 0.05 mm, full stop. Speed of the journal is 1000 rpm. The lubricating oil is SAE 10 and bearing operating temperature is 60 degrees Celsius. Here they told that determine the power loss for a Petrov's bearing. So we have to calculate how much there is a loss in the power. We are going to calculate. In order to calculate this, so they have given some specification of the bearing. So they told that the bearing having 100 mm in diameter, so small d is equal to 100 mm and 150 mm in length, L is equal to 150. Convert everything in meters, full stop. The radial clearance, not the diametrical clearance, it is radial clearance. So CR you will get. If it is diametrical clearance, you will get capital C. Now it is radial clearance, you will get CR is equal to 0.05 mm, convert into meters. Next, speed of the journal, small m they have given. The lubricating oil is SAE 10. So we are using a type of the oil is SAE 10 and the bearing is operating at a temperature of 60 degrees Celsius. So SAE 10 and operating temperature T0 is equal to 60 degrees Celsius. Now in this problem, So they have given the type of the oil and the operating temperature. With the help of this type of oil and operating temperature, we are going to calculate absolute viscosity, that is nothing but neta. Without knowing neta, we can't able to solve the problem, or we can't able to calculate the unknowns. So first we have to see whether neta is given or not. So here directly they are not given absolute viscosity. So here they have given the type of the oil and operating temperature. Based upon these two, we are going to calculate neta. So first we will calculate neta. So to calculate neta, we are going to refer the table and the figure. Now, first we are going to refer the table number 24.1. Now, if you see the table number 24.1, see this is the table 24.1. Understood? Now here, first here number A, B, C, D, C up to K is there, and oil characteristic, we are having different characteristics, and gamma for 15.5 is there. Now in the question they have given SAE 10. Now you can see here in characteristic where there is SAE 10, see here in the second row we are having SAE 10. For this SAE 10, we have to note down the number. What is the number is there? That is nothing but B. The number is B. And sure. Once you see here, they told that, see, for SAE 10, the number specified is B from the table. Once we got the number, then we have to refer the figure. That is nothing but 24.2. Now I will go to the figure 24.2. See, this is the figure. This is the figure 24.2. In this figure, x-axis we are having temperature, that is nothing but operating temperature. Y-axis we are having absolute viscosity neta in centipoise. Remember, it is in centipoise, not in pas. And number of inclined lines you are having, that is A, B, C, D up to K. Now, in the question, we got number is B, and sure, number is B, and we are having temperature is equal to 60 degree. By using this temperature and by using the number, we are going to calculate neta. See, now first I will select temperature 60 degree. This is the 60 degree. Move upward until it touches the B curve. So now here it is touching the B curve. Then come left side like this. Here we are having the absolute viscosity in centipoise. See, now we got absolute viscosity is 13. And sure, see, if you see once again figure, see 60 degree, move upward until it touches the B curve. So here B curve is there. Now it is touching the B curve. Now you come like this. Somewhere here below the 15 we are getting somewhere here. So it is 10, like that 11, 12, 13, somewhere we got. Therefore we are going to take 13. It is in centipoise. Ensured. Therefore 13 into 10 to the power of -3 pas. So we are converting centipoise into pas. It is nothing but 10 to the power of -3 you have to multiply. Therefore absolute viscosity neta is equal to 13 into 10 to the power of -3 pas. And sure, in this way you are going to calculate neta. If you made any mistake in calculation of neta, then remaining step you will get wrong answer. And sure. Now, after calculating neta, since here next they have given radial clearance, we are going to calculate the diametrical clearance. Capital C is equal to 2 times of radial clearance. We got radial clearance. Then we are going to calculate speed in RPS. N dash is equal to n divided by 60. So these are the 3 unknowns we are going to find out. Then diametrical clearance ratio xi is equal to C divided by D. Next, we are going to calculate the coefficient of friction based upon McKee's. If they're not given, always prefer the Petrov's equation to calculate the coefficient of friction. So we know the formula 2 pi square neta n dash by P into 1 divided by xi. Substitute all the things, substitute neta, n dash, P, xi, calculate mu. Once you get mu, the formula to calculate power loss in mu is equal to mu capital W V divided by 1000 into kilowatt. This is the formula to calculate power loss. In this, unknown is mu. That's why we have calculated mu. In this mu, unknown is neta, n dash, xi. So we have calculated neta, we have calculated n dash and xi in the previous semester. Once you get, we have calculated mu. Substitute mu here. Then substitute W. We know that W is equal to P into L into D. And sure, since we know that P is equal to W by L into D, cross multiply, we will get P into L into D. And velocity is equal to pi dn divided by 60. So substitute mu P L D pi dn everything. Then we will get power loss 0.366 kilowatts. Convert into watt. Then we will get 336 watts. Sure. So here important thing is, so finding the absolute viscosity by using the type of the oil that is characteristic and the operating temperature. Once you get neta and calculate the remaining unknowns, speed in RPS, diametrical clearance, xi, then calculate mu, then substitute, then calculate the power loss. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So here very important thing is calculation of neta by using the figure. Any doubt in calculation of neta by figure?
No, sir.
See, next problem. The viscosity of an oil is 110 Seabolt seconds at 50 degrees Celsius. At 110 seconds at 50 degrees Celsius. This 50 degrees Celsius related to this 110 Seabolt seconds. And specific gravity is 0.994 at 15.5 degrees Celsius. At 15.5 degrees Celsius, specific gravity is 0.8894. Determine the absolute viscosity at the bearing operating temperature 80 degrees Celsius. At this 80 degrees Celsius, we are going to calculate the absolute viscosity neta. And sure. So here coming to the data, so that is specific gravity, always it is represented by gamma. Gamma at 15.5 degrees Celsius is equal to 0.8894. That is nothing but specific gravity at 15.5 degrees is equal to 0.8894. And they have given the operating temperature is T0 is equal to 80 degrees Celsius. Now, first, see, this is the formula to calculate neta. Neta is equal to gamma T into 0.22 T minus 180 divided by T. From the equation number 24.3 you will get. Understood? Here unknown is T, where T is nothing but Seabolt seconds at 80 degrees Celsius. It is not temperature, it is the seconds at 80 degrees Celsius. Understood? And gamma T we are going to calculate at the operating temperature. So first, if you know gamma T and if you know T, then we can calculate absolute viscosity. First, we will calculate gamma T, that is nothing but specific gravity at 80 degrees Celsius. So specific gravity at operating temperature gamma T is equal to gamma 1.5 minus 0.00067 into T minus 1.5 from the equation number 24.10. Here we know gamma of 1.5, they have given in the question 0.8894 minus 0.00067 and T is nothing but operating temperature 80 degree. minus 15.5, then we will get the gamma T. Now gamma T is over, but we have to calculate T, Seaborg seconds at 80 degrees Celsius. This T can be calculated by using the figure. Now, from figure number 24.3, so I will go to the figure number 24.3. If you see figure number 24.3, and should now here, if you see the figure, this figure 24.3, x-axis you are having temperature, that is operating temperature. Y-axis you are having viscosity, Seaborg universal seconds, viscosity at seconds, and again another side it is having kinematic viscosity, and you are having the number of curves, that is A, B, C, D up to K. Now, first what they told that, see from figure 24.3 for 110 Seaborg seconds at 50 degrees Celsius. See in the question they told that the viscosity of an oil is 110 Seaborg second at 50 degrees Celsius. Now, if you see the figure, where is 110? See here there is 100. Somewhere you will get 110 here. And sure. And another thing is 50 degree. So here 50 degree is there. Now, from here, move towards the right side like this. And sure. Until it touches. For example, if I take this is 110, move towards the right side until it touches the 50 degree curve, 50 degree line in the x-axis. Now it is touching here, right? 50 degree. Now here it is 50 degree. Again here it is 110 in the y-axis. Now here we got the intersection point. Now for this intersection point, note down which curve we are having. That is nothing but B curve, right? B curve we are having. So that only they find out here. See here, for 120 Seaborg second at 50 degree, the oil selected is B. And sure. Now we got the type of the oil is B. Now we are going to calculate T at which temperature? At 80 degrees Celsius. Now refer the same figure. Now go to 80 degrees Celsius. Now 80 degree and the curve is B. Now move upward until it touches the curve B. Now it is touching here, right? Curve B. Now you come towards left side. Then we will get the Seaborg seconds. Somewhere here we are getting in between 55 and 60. And sure. So somewhere you will get here in the form of 58 something. So we will get, so Seaborg 10 seconds, T is equal to 56.5, or we can take 56 exactly. We won't get in the form of 0.5. You can take 56. And sure, that is nothing but, see you like this, you have to find out. See 80 degrees there here. Now we got the curve is B. Move until it touches the curve B and come towards the left side. And somewhere you will get here, that is nothing but 55 above, that is 56 we got. And sure. So that is nothing but T. Once you get T, substitute here, and gamma T in the previous year we have calculated. Again, this T is nothing but 56. Then we are going to calculate the absolute viscosity. And sure. So in this way, we can able to calculate absolute viscosity based upon the Seaborg seconds. This is another problem, how to calculate viscosity based upon the if they given the Seaborg seconds.